Hey, it's Kip Winger here. I'm talking to my buddy Kris from Heavy Mag about our new album, Winger 7.
Beautiful, Kip. Thanks for joining us this morning, mate.
Thanks, man. It's nice to hear your voice again.
You too, brother. It's been far too long. So, Winger will be releasing your seventh studio album, appropriately named Seven, on May the 5th after an absence of nearly 9 years, mate. So, firstly, welcome back.
Thank you very much. We're happy to have a new album out and looking forward to hopefully coming down there.
Hell yeah, brother. So, tell us a bit about the album from a musical point of view and what you were going for with it.
So the album is very definitely aimed at a combination of the first album and the third album, Pull, and with a little bit of what came after that. We went for the inspiration of the first album and the depth of songwriting on the third album and tried to find a happy balance in that. The album features all the original members, including Paul Taylor, and each member is playing on every single song. So it's the ultimate recipe of all things Winger. And there's 12 songs on it, all of which we're happy with. I was insistent on there being no filler. There's a lot of really good playing. I mean, I'm not really a player myself anymore. I worked on the singing very hard, but there's a lot of great guitar playing, a lot of great drumming, a lot of things that you might expect from our band. And it kind of, like I say, it encapsulates the full what you might expect from a Winger album, but kind of sets trying to set a higher bar.
Speaking of guitars, mate, like the opening track, Proud Desperado, kicks off with a massive wall of guitars and gets its groove on pretty much straight away. So was that chosen to open the album sort of to make a statement of sorts?
Well, that was one of the first songs we wrote for the record. And when we finished it, we felt like it was one of the stronger songs and it rocked pretty hard. So yeah, we were thinking that would open the album pretty soon after we wrote it.
That song's also the lead single from the album. So would you say overall it's a good sonic representation of the album as a whole?
Yeah, I would. Although there's a few songs with more keyboards and stuff that I think Proud Desperado is a little different for us. There's some other songs on there that are more typical of what you might think you would get from us. Yeah, I think it sums up a lot of what's happening. Although the guitar solo is a little short, and there's more playing on some of the other songs.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to have a sneak listen to the album before this interview, mate, and I found it to be a very guitar-driven album. Was that a focus going into it?
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to our past, I mean, like 80%, it's all guitar-driven. I mean, I went out of my way to try to make it so the guitars had a certain sound to them that were very present in the mix. You know, people have said, wow, it's a little heavier, but I'm not sure. I mean, if you listen to Pull, I think it's kind of right in the zone, but a little bit more modernized.
And you're also listed as playing acoustic guitar on Seven. So at any stage, mate, like did you strap on the electric for a 3-prong guitar assault, or did you just leave it the 2 electrics and yourself on acoustic?
No, I just left it. You know, I play acoustic solo, as you know. So if there's an acoustic guitar that needs to go on, I'll play it. But actually, to be honest with you, I think Reb and I both played. There's acoustics here and there on it, and I think we both did them. I don't quite remember right now, but I remember he did play acoustic on one track. And, you know, we trade up. It depends on who's closest to the guitar at the time in the studio.
And you've also produced Seven yourself, mate. So how hard is it for you to separate yourself objectively from your own music in your role as producer as well?
Not hard at all. I'm a very tough critic, and I know what I want to hear, and I know how to produce the sound I'm looking for. I don't actually believe in producers. I don't think artists really need producers unless they're, you know, a certain type of artist that can't make their own artistic decision. I'm kind of doing that since the first album. If you listen to Demo Anthology, it's no different than the album, and I did all the demos. So, and I don't feel a separation there. I feel it as though you're a painter, right? You know, if you're a painter, you don't hand your producer the brush to do this stroke, you know what I mean? I just paint the picture myself, and I've been working long enough to know from a skill point of view how to produce it.
Winger's been going for around 35 years now, bro. So I know the answer to this is a lot, but I want to hear it in your words. Like, how much has the rock landscape in music changed since you started?
I think it's the same as it has been since Elvis. I mean, what happens is one generation has their hero, and it was Elvis, and then it became the Beatles, and then it became the Bee Gees, and then it became Sid Vicious, and it just continues to go like that. You know, we were in a period of time when it was like, you know, the 80s kind of metal thing, and then the grunge thing hit, and then, you know, something else, that rap became huge, you know. I think it's, to answer your question, I've seen tons of changes, but I don't think it's unique to me and my period of time. I feel like, you know, I'm just one of many in this river of ever-changing music, you know, and it continues to evolve or de-evolve. In some cases, it's evolving. In some cases, it's de-evolving and rotating and combining ideas and always going through this state of flux. So it's kind of fascinating to watch. I'm so into listening to classical music that I don't pay attention to a lot of new bands and stuff. But yeah, tons of it's really, you know, there's a lot of great artists that have come along, and the internet has made that possible to hear a lot of great music that you wouldn't normally have heard.
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to be touring pretty extensively on the back of the new album, mate. But the one I'm most interested in is the run of shows with Steel Panther. Like, at first glance, it sort of seems like an unlikely pairing, but the more you think about it, the more perfect it sounds.
It's a perfect pairing. I called Michael Starr, who's a good friend of mine, and said, "Hey, let's do some shows." You know, I mean, like, if you guys want to do any shows together, and they immediately called us to do the UK. And I think it's a great pairing because we're what they are. We are what they parody, you know. So it'll be a good chance for the audience to kind of hear from the original guys, and then, you know, hear from Steel Panther, who, you know, kind of does this mockumentary of it. But Steel Panther, actually, they're great musicians. I mean,
Yeah, they are.
Satch is an incredible guitar player. I mean, and Michael sings great. So I mean, it's I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to really be fun for the audience.
And you were last in Australia just before COVID shut the world down on a solo tour, mate. So have you made any plans to return with the full band?
That's what we're rocking right now. Come there in September, do 6 or 7 shows. And I'm very excited about it because we haven't played down there since we played with Pat in 2010.
Right, bro. All right, Kip. Well, thanks very much for your time today, mate. 7 comes out on May the 5th. And as I said earlier, she's an absolute cracker of a rock album, mate. So I look forward to it coming out, mate. And I shall see you when you get out here, hopefully later on this year.
You're a good man, Kris. We miss you. Thank you very much for having us.